Hi, today I'm just gonna talk about what I learned today. As you know, I'm implementing my own design system. But the thing is that I'm not a designer, so I'm just copying the existing UI library and into my own. Example, Shadcn is really good UI library, but the thing is that there is really huge dependency on Tailwind CSS. So what is Tailwind CSS? Tailwind CSS is just bunch of CSS with the some kind of some kind of rules of it. So example, I'm just gonna show to you this. Tailwind CSS is basically hold on. It's basically just a bunch of class name, but it's already declared as a style, so you can just use it. But the thing is that the rules of the class name is really massive, so you can just am the class names based on the Tailwind CSS documents. You can just style it. But the bad thing is, first of all, if you use Tailwind CSS for your beautiful web service, it's easy to get copied. Some competitors were just gonna copy your style, font, or whatever thing because the class name is really easy because it based on the Tailwind CSS class name, and you can if he knows about Tailwind CSS well, that means it will eventually copy your whole styles if you rely on the Tailwind CSS. And also, so Tailwind CSS, it's just a CSS. It's a bunch of the CSS, and rather than because nowadays we tend to use CSS in JS, right? We use CSS in JS library, but if you use Tailwind CSS, it's not really type safe. Not type safe. Example, you wanna make some kind of style, but you wanna reuse it. But you can just use CSS in JS to make it reuse it, right? But in Tailwind CSS, you cannot do it because it is a bunch of class names. So, and also the Shadcn is not the common library tool. If you enter npx Shadcn like install some kind of button, it will not create some kind of node module. It will not make some kind of a bundle code in your node module. It will just create some kind of already buttons React code in your photo structure, in your UI photo structure. That is really kind of really bad for me because example, your React code has to be bundle diet or so, and also. The reason why I don't like is it cannot make it does not make your it doesn't follow your code style. Example, you want to put components like page or some kind of home, like those kind of for the structure, but it just creates some kind of nonsense, not nonsense, but it just creates some UI and some kind of components in UI in the UI for the structure, and that doesn't follows the rules of our front-end architecture. And if you have to change it, it's gonna be really kind of tedious to do it because you have to change the button components into your some kind of in other folder directory, and you have to also change the cluster of the button, and they're really bad. And also the Shadcn basically rely on the Tailwind CSS, so you have to eventually install Tailwind CSS to add style on the button component, and that is really bad. So what I'm trying to do is I'm just making this bunch of really structured components into my own design system, but I just copied style. So basically I'm rewriting into my own interface, which is Banner Extract. So why Banner Extract is good? It is type safe, it is zero install. So what do you mean general? So the common CSS in JavaScript is it uses JS to put style on it. So what's really or what is really bad about it? So if it's your web service is basically a CSR, client-side rendering is if your website is using client-side rendering, it basically means that your JS is doing everything, rendering the critical DOM, like everything. So that means that if your website has a huge amount of JavaScript, you eventually have the latency of even making style. Why? Because the CSS in JS is basically the JS is the one who styled it. So there's a bad thing about it, but Vanilla Extract is doing the Gero. It was like Gero module. It was something like that, but I forgot the word of it. But it basically, rather than making JS to style it, you eventually create the CSS file while build time. So that is really good. And I also use the Rollup bundle to make these my library to become more smaller, because Rollup is the popular bundler for the making a library. And the reason why we don't have to care about the CommonJS thing, because we're just gonna use this design system in browser. You cannot put UI on the Node side. There's no reason of the making some kind of compatibility of the Node CJS. It is really nonsense. So we're just gonna focus on the browser part. So this is it. And after that, so this is it. And I actually did almost everything. There's only 4 components I have to put it. So I already make it like here. It's very beautiful, right? Even the shit is here. Sorry, not the bad word. Shit is here. Skeleton is yeah, I have to fix this. But slider is also working, and sooner is also working. And switch, I have to care about those kind of style, but still though. Even I have to care about this tab style. It's really bad of it. But Textura is clearly working, so I just have to fix it. Fix the really minimal styles of it. And after that, the Figma, there's something like Figma, right? But the thing is that I have to pay about it. And the really sad thing about the Figma is if you're trying to use Code Connect on your some kind of based on your design system, you cannot do it by your alone. You have to be in some kind of organization or enterprise. But if you're not in the organization or enterprise, you cannot even pay of it. You cannot even pay. So that's really bad. And after that, I think this is it. So after making these kind of components, I have to refactor the code, and I have to publish into the npm with the private, and after that I'm just gonna use CDN to make the framework to use it, and I'm just gonna make my own extension if I can export it with the React code or not. So this is it. This is kind of brief description of what I'm trying to do. So I think, and also the tomorrow is gonna be different because I'm going back to my school, so there's a bunch of things to do. So I think I can just explain the really deep things tomorrow. So this is it. Have a nice day and see you next time. Bye bye.